I am pleased and proud to bring you greetings from the province of Saskatchewan, from the government of Saskatchewan, to the members of the board, to past officiants here at the school, to a current executive team, to faculty, to the students, even to Dan Jefferson. Dan is out there somewhere, and we single him out because he actually helped us out a little bit in the office in Swift Current for a time when we needed it, and we've been bugging him via Twitter ever since we knew we were coming here. And so, Dan, thanks for getting out of bed and making it to chapel. I see a former post-secondary minister that we should acknowledge as well as a former mayor of Moose Jaw. Glenn Hagel has joined us. When I was last speaking to a faith community in the Moose Jaw area, it was actually in your hometown of Moose Jaw. I was at Victory Church there, and they found out we were at that time going to the MB Church in Swift Current, Mennonite Brethren Church in Swift Current, and I was introduced as a member of the Frozen Chosen. I got a chance to stand up and say, but the key word is chosen. This is a brave group this morning because you have permitted in your midst 4 politicians, a federal member of parliament, 2 cabinet ministers, and myself, and you've given us this wonderful podium and this live microphone, and maybe the chance that the doors will be locked a little bit later on, but we won't overstay our welcome. I have an announcement I'll get to here right away, and I just want to offer the thanks to all of you for the chance to do this here at this very special chapel. There has been a great deal of leadership that has come from this community, that has come from this particular institution. There is a great legacy that has been passed on by this institution, by those who built it all those years ago, about 9 months after Elvis was born. That's how long this place has been around. 20,000 alumni now in 80 countries around the world, and countless who have passed on, who truly made their communities, wherever they might be, a better place. That's your legacy. And that's the leadership from Briercrest that has benefited not just this province, not just the Dominion of Canada, but truly the world over. We are grateful for that. We're also grateful for the prayers that come from this community, for the institution, for the students, past and present, for those in leadership. I've had many people already say this morning that they're praying for us in government, us politicians, and we need all the help we can get. My favorite exhortation to prayer actually for those in leadership is what Paul said to Timothy when he said that there should be prayers for those in leadership so that we may live quiet and peaceable lives on the earth, which I think a modern translation would be pray for those politicians so they don't mess things up too badly. It might be the best one. And we thank you for past prayers, and we thank you in advance for the prayers we covet into the future. We are met today at an important time in the life of the institution, as I hope you'll find out in a moment, but we're also met today at an important time in the life of this province of ours. And we know there are students from other places across Canada and perhaps across the 49th, but for this province, for Saskatchewan, we are in a time of prosperity. We're in a time of real growth, unprecedented growth in many respects. It's important that we not take that for granted. It's important we acknowledge, by the way, that government's not responsible for that. There are external factors at work that have created for us this new Saskatchewan advantage. It's as though it's Deuteronomy 6 right here in the province. We have wells we didn't dig, and vineyards we didn't plant, and houses we didn't fill. It is a great time to be in the province. Not just for economic reasons, but because of the institutions that exist here, because of a quality of life that we can appreciate here, because of what we can offer in post-secondary, for example, because of institutions like Briercrest. And we know, because your leadership team has told us that this institution and many others want to play a bigger role in the life of the province at this time in our history. They've been pretty blunt about that. Dr. Uglum has had the patience of Job, frankly, about some of the things he's been asking for, as well as he and his team has demonstrated courage and determination to keep asking for them. And I'm pleased to announce today, very directly, that Briercrest College and Seminary, as a result of those efforts, has received authorization to provide a Bachelor of Arts in Humanities effective July 2013. This is the first degree authorized under the Degree Authorization Act brought in to being by our government. Prior to today, only the University of Saskatchewan, a great institution, and only the University of Regina, another great institution, had the authority to grant degrees other than theological degrees in the province of Saskatchewan. This marks a brand new era for post-secondary education in the province, and I think a new era for Briercrest. It is an There are now more choices here and across the province, and there will be even more going forward in the future. More choices in terms of quality places that young people and not so young people can choose to study. I want to tell you what had to happen for this announcement to be made. First of all, we heard the lobby, we heard the calls, and then we looked carefully at what was going on in other provinces. There was a minister of post-secondary education before Minister Morgan. By the way, there is a miracle, a small miracle that took place here this morning because Minister Morgan and Minister Stewart are in church on a weekday, and trust me, that is a wonderful thing you've done. Minister Norris, the previous post-secondary minister, was working on this. He passed it off to the current post-secondary minister, Don Morgan, who's continued to work on it with the institutions. It wasn't just Briercrest, but principally a driving force was Briercrest to get to this point. And then Lyle Stewart, and I'll talk more about the local effort to get it done. Lyle Stewart helped as the MLA. But then what had to happen is the act is passed, regulations are developed, and then there is the establishment in our province of something called the Saskatchewan Higher Education Quality Assurance Board. This is a group of people. We work with the universities on this, by the way. This is a group of people who now vet proposals for the awarding of degrees like what we're announcing here today, a Bachelor of Humanity. And it was the first one passed. And I understand it was, I won't say easily passed, but very, very close to it. There was a prompt resolve that this should be the first institution to grant a degree other than our two major universities. And so there are 4 people that we want to acknowledge. I've mentioned a couple of them briefly. I do want to acknowledge in his absence former Minister Rob Norris. I want to acknowledge the current Minister Don Morgan and his team at Advanced Education. I want to acknowledge our universities who were part of the process. We thought we better bring everybody in to this process to make sure it is lasting, to make sure it is accepted. And finally, Dr. Uglum and his team, who made a very, very compelling case to the province on your behalf, on behalf of this school, and on behalf of this community. I must thank him for his determination to just simply not let this go and to make that compelling case so that we could be here today. And let me also acknowledge the MLA. Lyle Stewart has been on this issue for a very, very, very long time. He has taken every chance that he could to raise it with me, to raise it with ministers, and to respond to the need, to the request of his constituents. So these two are pretty formidable. Here you do have someone with the patience of Job, but in Lyle Stewart, I'm not sure if you know it, he's the MLA for the area, but in Lyle Stewart we have someone who truly fought off a carjacker a couple of years ago, held him down, called the police, all the while the guy was stabbing him in his leg with a pen. So Lyle is also a formidable and determined force. And we were able to get this done. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're looking forward to the future in the province. We're looking forward to post-secondary education in Saskatchewan, but specifically, we're really looking forward to what's going to happen right here on this campus as we go forward. The trail that is being blazed, that will be blazed, the example that will be set here for other institutions. We're very, very grateful for your leadership. Thank you for blazing this trail. We wish you nothing but success as you close out, students, as you close out the last few lectures and head into final exams. And may I just say in closing that when you graduate, we hope we get to keep you here in the province of Saskatchewan so you can stay close to Briercrest, help it in this new era, in this new journey, and most importantly, for us, in government anyway, to continue to help building the great province of Saskatchewan. Thanks for being here this morning. God bless.